tall order of promises, isn't it, right? When it comes to meetings, the main three common challenges that we've come across within the 10 years of our experience of meeting individuals across the board in terms of teams or individuals in small groups, whether social or formal or informal, is that there's three main components that most people struggle through. And the first thing being, in terms of being able to optimize your time and managing through the energy, and also, and this is not just for the person who is preparing a meeting, but also for the person who is going into a meeting, tends to be number one, objectivity. Number two, the question that always arises is, how do you manage to get people to engage on the conversation as well as maybe the content that you're also sharing within a meeting? And therein comes the struggle of participation. And the last part being is, how do you actually manage to drive the outcomes that you want to see after a meeting? And these three main components are what I like to touch on in terms of why our training is so particularly unique in being able to foster and bring out the results that you're looking at in order to transform your meetings, to end your boring meetings, and to make sure that it actually becomes an enjoyable process, not just for you who's having the meeting and creating the meeting, but anybody who's actually engaging with you. And by the time they're hearing that I'm having a meeting with you, they become excited and light up because they're knowing that they're going to have the best time with you. So when it comes to outcomes, and this tends to be connected towards how do you make sure your objective is met? Because our main principle as Osotwa is you always have to start with the end in mind. If you need to think about how to make a meeting objective, the main principle that you really need to think about is, how do you think about your outcome and how it's not just going to be perceived by you and the people engaging in it, but how do you walk them through a process? And for us, this process is actually within the skill set of facilitation, which is one of our specializations. When we're talking about objectivity, it's being able to think about clearly, not just in terms of your principle of understanding, but the principle of understanding for the person who is coming for the meeting, so that both of you are able to meet each other at your specific needs. And we're able to break this down almost on a nuclear level in terms of what is the main understandings and components that are needed to be known, because a lot of what's there isn't just within the perception of the content that you're using, but also people's perception within how they have engaged with this type of content previously within the duration of their life. And within that concept, this is actually what hinders or builds people's ability to participate. In terms of participation, you would realize that, especially when we're thinking about the psychology of where people come from in terms of their interactions, a lot of people's buy-in actually stems from people's prejudices and assumptions and their own personal worldview and their backgrounds. A lot of what we talk about within our training of meeting transformation at Osotwa actually really does go to the heart of what actually makes people enjoy engaging with one another. And we really do get into some of the psychological principles that are very well in tune with wellness, as well as people being able to be their most authentic personalities, how to adapt towards personalities that are differing from yours, and also how to be able to stem within the first component of interpersonal skills, which is how do you communicate effectively, not just for yourself, but the person that you're actually engaging with, so that you're able to make sure that you have avoidances in terms of miscommunication. And even if you do have a miscommunication, how do you pick up from it? How do you also use that as a bouncing to move into how you can actually understand each other better and also create a clarity that ordinarily wouldn't have been there? And this is actually how you manage to get an outcome that is possible for both of you to be able to hold each other accountable and also be able to think about how are you going to build this relationship forward and be able to have the best experience in terms of the effectiveness and the efficiency that will actually result you in either having a shorter meeting, a longer enjoyable meeting, or just being able to have a productive meeting in the very first place. There's a lot that we underestimate when it comes to why meetings are necessary, understanding the principles behind meetings, and that's what we cover as far as Osotwa Teams meeting transformation training is concerned. It is a virtual session, and we're able to have it in 3 breakdown sessions of you being able to understand the different components that are necessary for the principles, as well as the principles that are necessary in terms of interpersonal relationships. And we're able to walk you through the journey in terms of mentorship and additional tools that can actually help you monitor and evaluate your progress and development for making this financial investment to learn how to transform your meetings in the very first place. And we will guarantee that it will improve your interpersonal relationships and your interpersonal skills at the same time. So I hope you join us. Please click on the link below to sign up for our classes. Don't hesitate to reach out and call us if there's any questions, and be on the lookout for any of our content, because I guarantee you it will be worth your while to be able to learn some of the skills that might be hindering you or will enable you to have more effective and efficient relationships. So all the best. We look forward to engaging with you.